LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Welcome back to the StarLadder ImbaTV Chongqing Invitational. We're live into the pistol round, so I'm going to jump right into it. It's a 2v2, Dustin. Where are we at? 1 hour at a 2v1, so quicker than anything, Flash, they take the lead. You got Attacker and Lovey. They're up against the B.O.O.T team, obviously. Moxie, the interesting player to talk about on this B.O.O.T team, just recently leaving, but playing this one out to the bitter end. Much like this 1v2 as well. Trying to push up around the site. Spotting Lovey, but they aren't going to peek him. They're not giving up. Seeing nothing to work with, just a jiggle here and there, running the clock down, forcing him to get even more aggressive, wasting all the time in the world. Nicely played, Flash. They kept themselves pissed.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting matchup. Like you noted, Moxie has already left B.O.O.T Dreamscape, but is standing in for this team, for this tournament. They haven't found a replacement yet, and this is a weird team because they were on the rise towards the end of last year. They actually qualified for DreamHack Masters Malmo. They had beaten teams like Tyloo and Vici and Greyhound to qualify for the event, but once they got there, they bombed out. And since then, it's been a little bit of a downward trajectory for them. Of course, just recently struggling at WSG. And then Flash Gaming has their own roster issues. They don't have Kaze at this tournament with them, which is kind of odd. And apparently, I've heard rumors through the grapevine that they are looking to pick up some players from Vici Gaming. So they're kind of in a weird place as well, roster-wise, I think. So this might be a weird, scrappy game.
What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
evidence of the weird, scrappy game they might be in for, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, well played, I guess. You get yourself a kill, then double down for a second kill. But most importantly, that second frag comes from the MAC-10.
Yeah.
Which is the economics at play, the finer details there. But still, I mean,
Fancy should be able to get this kill here, and he will catch Tommy with Attacker.
Well.
So he gets it back to a 3-on-3. And ooh, Attacker catching the flank through drop. So this is looking a little bit better now from Flash. They're starting to recuperate from those early blows. Looks like they will go ahead and fit in the second round. So they do weather the storm of the force buy. Got a little scary there for a moment early on, but they've managed to navigate through.
If that is a sign of what this game is going to be, though, then we are in for a treat, because that was up in the air for a second.
Yeah, Flash is a weird one, man, because they were kind of labeled as like a dream team last year, like taking in like Karsa, this brilliant tactician from China, and getting some of the firepower from Tyloo, like Fancy or now Summer, Attacker, you know, getting those guys. And Kaze was supposed to be like this brilliant opper from Malaysia. It's supposed to be like one of the best oppers in the Asian region. And so you thought the pieces were coming together, but it's never really panned out that way. Like they've been kind of playing second fiddle to Tyloo a lot of the time. Typically you're getting beat out by like Renegades and Asian Miners and such. They do decently online in their region, and they qualify for some stuff here and there, but it just hasn't been what they were marketed as, right? And so I think that's why they're considering making moves once this tournament has come to a completion. But yeah, so that's why this is a hard game to. I think that the overall firepower in Flash is better, and so they should win because of that. But both these teams are in like a really awkward place as we do look and see that LootBet is calling Flash the favorites as well.
I would take that bet though.
You would take B.O.O.T Dreamscape?
I think so, yeah.
It's fair enough because of the weird situation both these teams are in.
This could go either way.
I think that's when it's a little bit more tempting to bet on the underdog in a weird situation both teams find themselves in.
What do you do? What does your gut tell you?
I still think Flash will win just because I think they have more overall talent, but we will see as there is a stack on the A-bomb site from B.O.O.T Dreamscape, which will be avoided entirely. Lovey's even looking to go hunt for kills at this MAC-10, to be expected, try to get that extra cash out of it.
Just going to be pushing and prodding, but unfortunately it seems like they've mostly circumvented the CT side and Cell now. Even then, they will only make their push into the form of Tommy and his rifles just to pick them to pieces. So unfortunately not the money being made, which they were certainly hoping for at least. Fancy probably don't want to peek into that. I mean, you don't want to be losing any more AKs here. And he's getting the double there with the Mag 10 and kind of brings things back full circle to that whole economic argument. Flash Gaming do go 3-0 up at the start of this game, but this is where things get dicey. Obviously, the first buy for B.O.O.T Dreamscape, and they have themselves an AWP on Splashka and 4 rifles in the server as well. Actually going for a shotgun on Benkai, the Mag 7.
Yeah, it's curious to see if B.O.O.T Dreamscape can step up. Certainly, I feel like this team just kind of lives and breathes by Benkai. Like, he's definitely their most consistent fragger. And outside of him, I mean, there's a couple other players who can put up numbers, but he's definitely, like, I feel is the main driving force of the team. Tommy as an entry fragger on T sides can be quite good as well. He's got good aim, but again, I feel like Benkai is kind of the heartbeat of the team. So definitely he's the one to look out for on the team of Singapore.
Benkai just going to hold patiently. Looks like one is going to be given up. Simple as anything. Lovey peeking around the corner, and just like that, you got yourself an advantage. Interesting is Benkai doesn't go straight for the gun or even think about it, really. It's much more of a patience-based play with the shotgun, just to sit tight in the corner. He knows that gun's always going to be there for him. So instead of really plays this one out. Nice little flash, but going to achieve absolutely nothing. Moment looking to clear it, but giving up just a second kill now. That Mag 7 doing wonders at that point. Then leaps forwards. Not the gun he wanted, but finally he's going to shuffle through to the AK.
Good work by Benkai there. He's a very intelligent player. He's a very methodical player. He's more passive. Like, Tommy's like more of the aggressive guy. Usually Benkai's a little bit more passive, but he's making an aggressive play in drop room, and he's making it work so far. We'll see if Flash can try to recover. Will they clear this close left player is going to be the big question. They do not. But Impression misses his chance.
Yeah, hate to see that. Chance given. Chance destroyed. Moxie putting in the work, though, from Wood. He's at this round is pretty much lock and key. You know, trying to make it work in a 1v2 now, but almost certainly up against the wall. Will be able to sneak in a bomb plant at bare minimum. That is likely going to be it. Tries to get a nice little angle going here. And Molly making life tough. Oh, Benkai now spotting him.
Ooh, that was not a bad attempt there from Aeon. Like you said, at least getting that bomb plant. Benkai doing great work early on. Will be the closer as well. He'll be able to get that op save and give it back over to Splashka, who should be like the other big fragger for this team besides Benkai, but he does suffer from consistency issues a little bit, but certainly has the talent to be a good AW player in the region. So he'll hope that he can deliver for B.O.O.T Dreamscape here, keep their tournament lives alive. So again, this is an elimination best of 3. Loser will be out of the tournament. Winner will move on to play against a loser of a match that has yet to be determined. Oh, wait, no, we do know. Wouldn't it be Spirit? Yeah, they move on to play Spirit tomorrow. Whoever wins this.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow morning's matchup right before semi-finals.
Where MVP PK and AGO are already waiting. And then, of course, we have Vega playing Tyler a little bit later to decide another slot. But here we go, another gun round among us. Flash Gaming looking to put some pressure over here towards the B side of the map.
Mancy just going to be creeping up, looking towards that second room. Benkai hearing all the information, and once again, really being the brains of this team right now, constructing these sensible picks. Tommy doing just the same as well. They go 2 kills up. And there, Slashgut takes down Lovey, and I mean, this is looking like a very comfy boot so far.
Yeah, really solid work since guns have come into their hands. Benkai, you know, already getting into a rhythm, which is exactly what you want to see for this B.O.O.T Dreamscape team. He's definitely their leading fragger, and Splashka getting an op pick there. That's good news. Again, if he can be on point with AWP, that's the 2 people that they're really going to rely on to fend off Flash. So it's now 2-on-5. Flash still plenty of time, but not a whole lot of resources to figure a way out of this one. So looking to try to swing over towards the A side. The player already tucked into the back of the site. A couple players near connector for a quick rotate once they start making some noise. So B.O.O.T Dreamscape should be in decent shape to close this.
Nice idea at least, though. Slowly creep up on towards A. The issue you've got, the Impression, is holding that cross, catching them, and try and make their move. Not only did they find Orman, but they put Attacker down to 12 HP. There was no hope in hell that anything was going to come from that. Moxie just pushes it over the line. We go 3 for 2, and very likely 3 for 3 here, I think, as well.
Yeah, another round where Flash is not going to be able to really put together too much of a purchase, so you'd expect B.O.O.T to go ahead and tie this one up. As Cobblestone, by the way, was the pick of Flash, in case you were wondering. We had B.O.O.T Dreamscape picking Mirage for our second map. Third map, if we're needed, is going to be Cache, which is common ground for both teams, so I think they'll both be happy with that third map.
Moxie, Norman, both going to exchange blows. Oh, that AK mid could have been actually fairly beefy, but one well-placed flash from Flash actually helps them out pretty significantly as they make their run up through ramp. Flashgap just going to be holding from door, though, picking them as once again they try to cross. And this is the issue, right? You have a good flash, but you don't have a smoke. And the lack of smoke means that door can easily just be held via these ults, via these AKs. So making that cross, even when you have the advantage, is a huge, huge gambit.
You have to kind of leap together and hope that Splash only, hits one of you, and then one of them gets to make it across, right? They're not even really committed to it yet. The bomb's actually still tucked in the mid-room, and they have a minute left on the clock, so they certainly don't have to commit to anything. They can maybe keep Splashka's op busy over here and look to shift that bomb over towards B even. So there's definitely options for Flash, as Aeon's trying to see if he can get any information with this Deagle, as he's the most forward man with Fancy right next to him.
They feel pretty dead set on this site, though. That's the reason why I think I lock B out of the round for them, because I don't, we don't see any inkling that they're even considering going to the B. It looks like they are pretty much just locked in towards A, and we can start to see that here as the bomb especially moves up, then they make the jump on across. One shot comes out, but two will make it through. And to be honest, they wanted Aeon to die there. But at least Attacker can trade with the CZ.
Yeah, they knew that someone was going down, but as long as they got two across, including the bomb, that's what mattered most.
Yeah, I'm considering swinging, but my concern is the HP, is that nade goes flying over. It's a little too deep. Unfortunately so. Means that Tommy still has work to do. Splitting them up now, both ever so low, but there's one. Molly as well, in the back of his palm, could use that. Doesn't need to, just finishes it off with some beautiful AK play. Forcing it 3-3, just like we expected.
Yeah, a little bit more labor than probably they were hoping for, though. I mean, with Flash not having much to work with, I'm sure they anticipated getting that round a little bit more clean, but they still do get it nonetheless. But now Flash, with all those kills, they are forcing a lot of rebuys out of B.O.O.T Dreamscape, so they're keeping their economy pretty low on their opponent's side, and now they have a good buy ahead of them thanks to the bomb plant and the save. We'll get the AWP over on Summer, who's kind of taking over, I guess, primary opping duties for this tournament since Kaze is not present, which again, I never actually heard why he wasn't at this tournament. I don't know if there's something going on with him or what is up, but certainly a big piece to be missing for Flash.
Once again, just looking at some light utility, that sort of thing. Nice little aggressive play from Benkai, but the molly is going to prompt him just to fall back, as without a way out, it's not really a smart bet for him, so man definitely who wears his brain on his sleeve decides to take the sensible option, which is to pull that distance. From there, obviously, we've got Orman and co beginning to gain that presence towards drop for that T side. Still have a very patient Flash. They're all over towards sort of the A site doors area. The bomb dropped pretty far outside, so they have those options to kind of mess around, take a few peeks without really committing to anything in terms of the position of that bomb, at least.
We'll see if the double op is going to ring true for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. So far, not the case. One's already out of the equation, and Flash have a very big advantage as they keep laying into this B bomb side. A good Flash buys Tommy a little bit more time to post up with the AK. He delivers for one, but can't find a second, and so B.O.O.T still find themselves well behind. And in fact, may just look to save this op with Moxie on the A site and concede this fourth round to Flash, who will take the lead right back from B.O.O.T Dreamscape.
He's going to find itself planted. From there, obviously, Flash begin the chase. Looking for Moxie. Where it is now. Obviously, it wouldn't be ideal for them to get this AWP out of the server. Obviously, B.O.O.T have a very mixed economy right now. A few thousand on Tommy and Splashka. And also players with nothing in the bank at all. Orman just clearing out A, but not going to find anything just yet. Obviously, we know Moxie's over towards long. It looks like Orman might just walk pretty much right into him.
Oh, Moxie misses, and he might not get to carry this op now. Terrors are going to start gathering up and look to push together, so his chances of saving this AWP is going to be very labored, but does get the kill on the Amin. Hides in the corner. No one's able to get to him, and so he will be able to bring that over to Splashka for this round, but I mean, they could see Splashka drop an M4 to someone, Tommy can buy, so they can get a little bit of something going here. is going to be a little bit handicapped, though. A couple of players are going to be short on firepower. UMP and CZ come out an impression in Ben Kai. I'd be giving Ben Kai an M4, like, if I was this team. Like, give that man what he needs to work with, because he's definitely their star. But maybe with the UMP, that'll be enough for him.
Goes both ways, though, right? That's always the argument. You got your star player. He can probably cope with the UMP in comparison to giving the rest of his teammates that extra edge.
Yeah, he's
trying
making
to find
this close
something.
play again. Gets caught, though. He was trying to do that same play from earlier. And Almond giving him some extra bullets, saying, not this time. Because, of course, last time with the Max, he made a big play from up there. This time, Flash wise to it. Get a quick advantage.
Definitely a nice way to start this one. Strong for Flash, keeping this game very close. I mean, already at 4-3, we can still kind of see a game that is foreshadowed to be quite competitive. Obviously, Flash Gaming all built up to burst out on towards B with one lurker in play, though. Aeon, definitely want to be keeping your eyes drawn to what Aeon is up to right now as the push towards this site does come in. Tommy Splashka just getting the work done. Attacker will be good for 2, but walking away on 3 HP is very, very little. And you have to bear in mind, you've got impression coming in on this flank already, which means that, sure, you might be able to get on towards B, but all this time you're spending taking this site is more time for impression to get ready to splice him from behind and finish you off. And with attacker still being on 3 HP, that's such an important thing to note.
They get the tree boost out, so this might be able to get them in the angle on this connector player, which is going to be Moxie, who has that AWP, so that could certainly be helpful. Bomb does get safely planted, and Aeon seems to be aware of the B flank now, so at least Flash are well positioned for this retake. And there is Moxie out. Didn't expect that angle on tree.
Impression going to creep on up. Aeon well and truly aware of that fact. AK to be picked up. An impression who just could not connect.
And so there you have it. A couple of rounds in a row here for Flash Gaming. They've held Boot Dreamscape off. They're going to force them to take a save this round as well. And this is where Flash can start building up their lead, get their economy really stable. And so that is certainly good news here for the, I guess now fully Chinese team, since Kaze is not here.
Yeah, that would work. I'd love to know the details behind that.
What's that?
Kaze.
Yeah, I would too. That's definitely a big piece to be missing for this team, I feel like. Because Aeon and Almond were rotating 5th for this team since Karsa's departure. They had never like settled on a 5th. And then again, the rumor is that eventually we're going to be seeing, I think it's Zhongqing and Freeman from Vici. Who Zhongqing definitely like one of the best aimers in China. Definitely the best player for Vici. Definitely a guy you would want to put into your team if you're trying to upgrade and be like that next best team next to Tyloo in China and try to fight against Tyloo to be the best team in China. But it just depends on whether or not that move is actually going to go through or not. That's just kind of the word that I've heard in the Asian scene, that they're definitely looking to make a big move. And that's why this game is so weird. And it's hard to read because both these teams are certainly going through like a transition phase. Even if the rumors about Vici and stuff don't go through, they still have to figure out what they're going to do about a permanent replacement for Karsa.
Yeah, and it creates some very interesting things nonetheless. Obviously, looking towards B right now, things get a little hairy. Lobby already beginning to work in with this Mac 10, but only 3 bullets left in the chamber. That's not enough. Got to pop in for a cheeky reload. Fancy. Got to fill in the gaps anyway. Splash Moxie. Charming in for just a little with these pistols, but nothing too crazy. It looks like Flash have been able to hold together this B-take, even when up against a stack. Leaving just Splashka now. But that AK making things a little problematic, obviously. Splashka ever refusing to go down without a fight. But we'll walk right into the crosshair of attacker.
Yeah, so around you couldn't really expect much from Boot Dreamscape, as they were onto a save. Now they'll be able to get a buy going into this round. They do have money on Splashka for an AWP. Gonna be a little bit, okay. I like this. Like, they want to make sure they get a really good full buy in the next round, so they're just going to shave off a little bit of cash to get some CZs and armor. This is like a more, I guess, conservative economic decision on their part. They could have gone a buy, but it would have been certainly lacking for utility, armor, and kits. So, but this kind of gives Flash like a chance at like another free round, but a bunch of CZs and armor at the right angles could still be very pesky to deal with. So I don't want to count them out of this round off the bat.
100% something we have to be keeping an eagle eye on. And these pistols all stacked up through mid. I love this double setup here when you play close like this.
Yeah.
Always the potential to wreak havoc on.
I expect the Molotov to get thrown there, though. Like, I've seen Flash throw Molotovs there before, so I thought they would do it again. But no, they actually just walk out, and they're going to get run through the blender. Moxie's just getting free kills on Almond, who just was not paying attention. He was so focused up the slope. But okay, they get it right back into a 2-on-2. They stay on an attacker. In the blink of an eye, it's turned on its head.
I don't even know what this round is. I mean, the fact is that... I mean, who was standing behind? So what is this game?
I don't know, dude. That was a weird round. Like, they walked out middle. They ran into the CZ crossfire up close on the door.
The thing is that confused me, when they ran into this CZ crossfire, they then managed to stand behind them. I mean, look at this. Moxie just did a dance behind Orma, and Orma just refused to do anything.
I guess they never really noticed that Moxie was doing damage. Like, they were getting hit by the CZ player they were focused on, which they eventually traded. And I guess they assumed all the damage they were taking was from him or people, like, up top middle. So they never like, felt Moxie, right? They never, like, they didn't get clear enough information that someone was there. And so that gave Moxie a free kill, a chance to grab a rifle. And Flash recovered it into a 2-on-2, but still wound up dropping the round. So B.O.O.T Dreamscape steal one away a little bit early. Now they have a double AWP set up.
Kind of madness, but definitely intrigued by what Moxie and Splashka can do with this double AWP setup. See Boot getting out relatively late into this half.
When you said madness, all I could think of was like, this is Sparta, but then I was going to say this is Singapore, because see what I did there? I don't think that would have gone so well, though. But I had to share it with you. That's the way my brain works.
A little gem kind of had to come out.
Yeah, just a little, let you know, give you some insight to the eternal monologue that sometimes have. So we see Flash Gaming on a full AK buy, looking to get some control of drop down room, excuse me, perhaps. I don't know. They're still thinking about it. Definitely looking to hit B. There's no question about that. But it's about how do they want to approach it. Looks like drop is definitely going to be a part of the equation unless Benkai can shut it down. Certainly looking for it.
Just going to let this clock tick down, though. 40 seconds left. Obviously, Flash Gaming beginning to realize that time is a commodity. One they are not really willing to spend. Fancy taking a peek and risking it. Moxie makes it known that AWP is watching it. And things begin to crumble. They're trying to make this plat push, but constantly being met with pushback from this CT side. They do trade blows, and eventually it leads to a successful site take for the most part, but Benkai still causing problems. It means that you constantly are engaged in this kind of tug of war, and with 10 seconds left, you just kind of can't be in that situation. You need to smoke door, get the bomb to the site, and actually just get the plant.
And they will be able to get it thanks to that smoke. So that kind of resets the clock, gives them more time to work with. Try to still get this round, but Dreamscape are already here, so they have plenty of time to try to engage this retake. But they're doing it with no utility in an op. That can make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, fancy position as well is exceptional. When you consider the context of this retake, that open rifle. I don't know what Moxie's kind of trying to achieve there, but doesn't really matter. Just going to quickly disappear up on towards A-Long, try and fade away into the distance of cobblestone. And Flash will get 7-4 up on their half.
So Flash are always maintaining a little bit of distance. Like, B.O.O.T Dreamscape aren't letting Flash get too far ahead, but Flash is holding them off from truly catching up. So it's definitely a bit of a scrappy game here. Attacker is on one right now. He's at 16 kills, topping the boards, almost double anyone else on his team and in the server in general, actually. So good to see him delivering, if you're a fan of some Chinese CS.
Looking this time around at what B.O.O.T will be bringing to the table, obviously continuing their chase. In a very awkward predicament. Their money has been definitely a bit rough around the edges, but they've been able to squeeze out something that isn't all that bad. Obviously the two M4s on Impression and Benkai. You've got the CZ on Splashka, and the UMP on Tommy, with the AWP still in the palms of Moxie, of course.
So it's Flash taking a little bit of a slower approach here.
Cannot be giving those free kills up to Attacker. Feeding the beast at this point. Allowing him to get riled up, and the more you do that, the more confident he's going to get.
Yep, they're actually going to be able to collect an AWP, which they'll be able to pass over to Summer, I guess, who's been doing it the bulk of the time that he's been on the team. I think he's also in-game leading now as well with Karsa's departure, which is why Flash plays a little bit simpler than they used to under Carcer. They had some more like advanced tactics. Didn't really work out for them all the time. So they're kind of taking a step back, playing like a simpler, maybe like a more free-form style of CS. Also feels like it's hurting Summer's fragging a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Slow and steady, that is the game plan right now. Flash really running this clock down. A lot of confidence that they can still make it to this site. Obviously, with 20 seconds left now, there's no mollies or any utility in play from B.O.O.T that can stop them from taking the site. And obviously, with the rotations all coming in towards B, the juke has pretty much paid off anyway, so they're on A. The interesting will then be, obviously, transitioning to this retake now from B.O.O.T. With no util, do they even try and go towards A, or do they just sit tight on B? I think they just stay where they are.
They have plenty of kits and armor to save, and a couple of M4s, so I would definitely look to
save.
Absolutely. If they can. I mean, there's going to be a bit of a chase from Flash Gaming, it looks like, but they do fend off Lovey.
Tommy just being a little careful as well. Is going to pull some distance. Not the ideal play when you got a UMP, but yeah, it is what it is. Attacker beginning to work it down. Secures both of those kills, in fact. I think it's hungry for a third and fourth.
Yeah, Attacker's not messing around this game. He is up there. I think he's up to like...
It's got to be like 20 plus now at least.
Yeah, he's probably up to at least 18 or 19. Might be at 20 already. We'll see. Not bad for only being 11 rounds into the game, or 12 rounds now. So yeah, it's at 19. Definitely putting the team on his back a little bit. Not that they're doing badly or anything like that. They're actually pretty even keel with B.O.O.T Dreamscape, but definitely Attacker's the one stepping out in front, being kind of the highlight player of this match thus far.
He's just creating opportunities for them, which is the biggest thing. He's getting them these like first kills or the double kill entries, just the chances that they can use to convert these rounds. And the rest of the team are doing a good job of taking those chances and working with them, so I think that definitely props has to be given for Flash on a whole.
Right.
But those chances don't exist without Attacker just putting in the hard graft and getting these 19 kills.
Absolutely. So a little bit of a timeout being taken. So you see the loot bet here talking about who could win the pistol round. It's a tough one to call, actually, the way this game is played out. I mean, certainly Flash seem to be having the momentum and seem to be out-dueling B.O.O.T Dreamscape most times. Pistols can always be very tricky, so it's definitely a tough one to call.
Bit of an awkward situation here for B.O.O.T. What do you do here? Do you stack the two rifles on one side, the pistols on the other? I mean, there are multiple different ways you can play these rounds, but yeah. I mean, what works for you, Dustin?
Typically, I think you want to surround the M4 with pistols. That way you can pick it back up if it goes down and keep it in play as long as possible. So that's kind of what I've always favored. Maybe you do some type of bait where like a pistol goes out to create something for the M4. So there's definitely a couple different approaches, but Summer is just crept into A. Gonna catch, oh, never mind. Impression picks up on it. He gets traded, though. And they had this CZ up close on mid-slope. Moxie could be a problem, but he tries to go aggressive, and he gets caught by Attacker. This round pretty much seems played out.
Yeah, Attacker with so much confidence as well. It's just going to further the aggression. Peeking in. Taking down Splash Gurple, then looking for Benkai as well. Just 45 seconds remain. Benkai, a fair bit of time, honestly, to stay alive for, especially when that bomb does go down on towards A, which I believe is being planted right now by Open. Well, doesn't matter, Attacker is going to push this one over the line. Anyway, it's a triple kill for him, puts him up to about 22 kills now.
Yep, he's definitely having himself a game. Flash and General are starting to like really get something going here as well. I mean, it was pretty close, but they've actually been able to win, I think, 5 out of the last 6 rounds, so definitely starting to get a pretty solid lead established. Definitely thankful they got the 3-0 start, because otherwise it would be the other way around, right? So that certainly kind of helped them along as we see this replay of Attacker continuing his killing spree.
He's just on it right now, hitting every single shot he needs. Obviously 9-4 up. It's a turning point in the game, really, because this either goes 11-4 now, realistically, for Flash, or it goes 9-6. I don't see a middle ground, really, there.
Yeah. Interesting. Moxie opting over Splashka, but it's probably because he doesn't have armor.
We are going to see some aggression. Lovey instantly punished by Tommy. And they actually decide to stick at it as well. They don't instantly fall back. They play off the corner. Benkai, the UMP just scraping the head of Ormond.
Yeah, big kills here from B.O.O.T Dreamscape. Exactly what they need to start getting their foot back into this game is to have a couple of players for them to make a play. But Summer gets one back. That splash go down. Now the defense is split 2 to a site, so they could get effectively a 3-on-2 battle here at B.
That is not what you want to see. Attacker piercing through for just another kill and a second on towards Tommy.
Dude, Attacker's just, he's feeling it today, man. He is not.
This is a good day for him.
He's not letting his team get eliminated. That is what is on his mind, it seems.
About 150 ADR right now.
Dude, he is, I don't know. He's far and above anyone else on the server. Maybe by double at this point. I think he's, yeah, I don't think anyone's even within half of him now after those kills.
Again, he just takes a round that could have gone either way and basically just guarantees it for Flash.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 5-on-3 for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. That's one of the better advantages they've had lately in this half. And then Benkai actually has an angle on the first player coming out of Broken Wall, which in fact was Attacker. And you would think, okay, Benkai, really good player, very consistent for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. He's getting a favorable duel here. He's already got his team ahead by 2 players. But then Attacker just comes through for 2 entries on B, evens it up, and it says, nah, we're still winning this round.
Interesting as well is what you see, and one of the reasons why their economy is so low right now on this CT side is that you can see on the scoreboard that it's been 3 rounds. Then 1 chimed in for B.O.O.T, then 3 rounds again. That constant sort of 3-1 streak from Flash, they've been able to really dictate the economy of B.O.O.T. And that's
they've been reset twice this half over on the Singapore side, so that's definitely bad news for a CT team on this map, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they just really haven't shut out.
They've had a lot of buys like this, where they have like the 1-op. They've been able to have that pretty regularly, but it always seems like they don't have like 4 M4s around. It's always like UMPs or pistols, so it's definitely been a problem. And this last round of the half now as well.
Attacker just ready and waiting. Let's see what more display of skill can we get from this man. There we go. There's one. Oh, and a second maybe. I'm just going to kind of let this unfold now. It really speaks for itself. It's just a beautiful sight, really.
This man's almost dropped 30 in 1/2 of Counter-Strike. Like, he's on pace to.
If a bit of a field day right now.
Yeah, and like unless Flash just bulldozes him in the second half and just wins 5 quick rounds to win the game, you won't have a lot of time to frag more. But if this game plays out more rounds, basically like approaching the full 30, he could be on for 40.
What was the record for most kills in 30 rounds?
I don't know. Probably with 40 or
56, I think.
I don't know. It depends on what level of Counter-Strike you're talking about.
Professional CS.
Yeah, in professional CS, I'm not sure what the record is.
I
know there was one game at E-League that was it World Edit had a bunch of kills.
Yeah, I know World Edit was up because it was him, and then also it was Little from Fluffy Gangsters at the.
I think it's hard to call because I think it's a ratio of how many rounds actually got played versus how many kills were gotten. But you could also just do a record of how many kills in regulation. But obviously, a game that goes 16-14 versus a game that goes 16-8, it's a little bit obviously there's extra rounds that got played for that guy to get more kills in regulation. So I feel like the proper measurement should be the ratio of rounds played to kills gotten or something like that. Makes more sense. But
well,
anyway,
someone out there should have that stat. If you do
Peter
have that
does.
stat,
Peter out there has it. But he's probably not watching right now, I imagine. Never know. Could be. If he is and he puts out a tweet about that, that'd be great.
Obviously, we can see a few highlight moments here. Things to come through relatively simply for Flash so far. Now, obviously, a bit of an interesting pistol, struggling to hit a few shots, but Attacker eventually does claim the life of Slashka. They're diving back up through the stairwell. B.O.O.T deciding, you know what, we're going to challenge Ramp instead. I think that's smart. Just don't walk into Attacker's crosshair. Getting dismissed. Attacker struggling right now, but still getting consistent kills overall.
Yep, so that's enough HP to keep fighting as well. He's already got 2 kills on the round, but B.O.O.T do have the advantage. They have B-bombs under their control. They will plant. There's no question about that. And Moxie might be able to backstab Aeon here, so that's going to make things tricky.
Looks like Attacker, though, might also be able to support that. A little too late to the party. But
does he clutch? 1v2.
I mean, Aeon has made it a 1v2 for him, so definitely everything now there for him. But Benkai having absolutely none of it, slams the door dead shut in his face.
That's exactly what B.O.O.T needs to keep alive in this game. Losing that pistol would have been pretty rough. That would have made the comeback effort a lot more difficult.
Got to win the second round, though. We saw, actually, in this second round of the first half, just how hectic those can be.
They did get the 3-0 start last half as well. Or no, I'm sorry, that was actually Flash who got 3-0 start last half, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was Flash, but that second round was definitely quite dicey. We saw the CZs putting in the work. It came pretty close at the end, so yeah, definitely going to be waiting to see kind of how that happens. Obviously, the nade doing a fair bit of damage on towards Tommy. Attack, and then here with the CZ, locks in one and the second. This is what I'm talking about, looking for a third, but no bullets left in the chamber means he will be shut down. But a 2-for-1 trade for Flash, when you've just got Deagle's P250s in play, you are laughing.
And Attackers just hit 30 kills already, and we have at least 5 more rounds to play if Flash somehow wins out. But this round, certainly there's a chance for it. They have a man advantage here, and they have armor on all these pistols.
Lovely, just going to get close. This is what you want as well. Just hold that at a triangle. Flash is a bit too deep for him, which means he can land the follow-up chest shots with the AWP. Locks him for this another as well.
This player's low on HP, trying to escape, but Almond's not going to let him. Now it's all on Benkai, 1v3. He does have the bomb under his control, but he's going to get pushed by the Flash. Actually, they're not committing to it just yet. They're making him sweat. Nice little jiggle peeking, making it hard on Benkai to get a shot lined up, and he will get taken down. So Flash Gaming reset Boot Dreamscape, and it looks like we're going to have a scrappy start to this half. The force buy galore is about to happen.
Yeah, definitely not complaining if you're Flash. And again, instigated by Attacker. I mean, I really kind of want to send that point home. I mean, just look at this. Headshot after headshot.
At this point, you feel like Flash is just like, whatever you want to do, man. You tell us.
This was nice too, right? I mean, the Deagle effectively became a bit of an AWP at this point, just kind of pacing away the shots through mid. I mean, much like an AWP does when it's bearing down into mid like that, it just zones off an area of the map.
Hello. That's one way to help your cause, is to get Attacker off the board as quickly as possible. Again, the force buys are reigning supreme, and we might just be seeing 1-for-1 for a while here. Again, it usually takes a team winning 2 in a row to finally silence this chaos.
I was going to say the combination, the complication, sorry, could have been Orman, but he's going to get shot in the back by Julies.
Yeah. So again, we're going to see back-to-back force buy victories take place in this half. And if I had to guess, Flash is going to force buy right back, and it's going to stay that way until, again, someone wins 2 in a row and forces their opponent to concede.
Yeah, this is literally a tug of war at this point. A classic play of a Flash versus Boot Dreamscape.
Yep, here comes the force, UMP, and utility on Almond. CZs or a Deagle for everyone else. Most of them are armored. Lovey decides to get a kit.
Yeah, I think that makes sense as well. Charging out, obviously. Tommy just going to open up for 2, and will sneak in 1 with a Deagle, and a second as well. But Tommy is just piercing the side open anyway. Okay, Summit with the CZ getting nice and close. Don't want to take this range fight, though. Just drop the smoke, play nice and defensive here. Wait for your teammate Attacker to come and join you. He is the muscle right now that you need. Obviously, trying to make those taps. Ah, it's unfortunate. But there, the round is pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, now Flash will actually have to take a save, and this means Boot Dreamscape will be able to kind of start settling in to this half, get some money built up, start closing the gap on the scoreboard. So not bad for Boot Dreamscape. Really well handled there on B. You're a little bit concerned because Attacker was starting to heat up a little bit in that round, and he's been so good throughout this match, but he was dealt with pretty efficiently. So it is 7 rounds now for Boot Dreamscape. Still some Deagles out for Flash Gaming, so still some chances to be threatening, but certainly pack less of a punch than they had last round as they don't have armor behind it.
Flash. Benkai. Did a pretty good job of opening up this site as well, securing 2 initial kills with a MAC-10. Making some money, most importantly. They are going to continue their advances in towards Connector. Just trying to see how much can they get away with it. Overall, fair bit. Don't really see a win condition here for Attacker, but that's a little awkward.
Yeah, again, that was the round that Flash had to save, so you couldn't really expect too much of a fight out of them, given their predicament. But now they're going to be back onto a bye in this round. It's going to be a little bit strained, though, as we're going to see Fancy with just the UMP. No AWP on the board for Flash, but plenty of utility. Plenty of firepower still present. Can Boot Dreamscape keep this up is now kind of the question.
Definitely going to be keeping a close eye on Attacker still. How he develops overall. Obviously, Boot going for this kind of quick and dirty play. Down in towards drop. Orman testing them as he lays down.
Ooh, I thought he was going to line him up.
Did a lot of damage, but couldn't lean up for the kill. I mean, 61 HP and 60 HP respectively.
Probably a bit frustrated with that. He probably thought he was going to get a couple of kills out of that. Only wound up with one.
Metal
but
Sheeting surviving for now. It will be broken, their Impression finally going to lose his life. Looked like it was just enough to shroud Impression in the corner there, so unfortunate. Sama blitzing Moxie with UMP.
Trying to take this bomb in the B, clearing out Chick Coop with the Molotov, but they are a man down, but they're making their way in. Ooh, a good incendiary, though. Forces them to reroute.
Attacker just walking up. Lovey stealing away the kill, but Attacker could just swing on towards Flashka. And that is going to be a round for Flash Gaming, and a big one too, as it pushes them over the line to 13. And it starts to chip away at the economy of Boot Dreamscape, who right now are actually in pretty good stead. I mean, you got 11,000 on Tommy. Basically gives you that kind of ability to be creative with the AWP.
They also have a chance to perhaps reset Flash here. So that would certainly be helpful. That could get them to, like, say, 13-10 before Flash could buy again. So they could definitely still work themselves into a very close game. They can come up with a response right away here in this round, as they're going to go for a bit of a heavy play towards B right away. 4 players just charging towards long. Will they commit, or will they kind of be slowed down? Looks like they are just going to be a little bit patient. Lovey takes an aggressive angle, actually, here on long B. Will they check this side is going to be the real question. It's always what you always wonder. Is someone actually going to pay attention? But actually, Lovey won't even hold it. He backs off. Doesn't want the chance of getting mollied out and giving a free kill to Boot Dreamscape in this round. He knows that the risk of being reset is really real.
Drop comes in. Flash is soon to follow as well. The mollies keeping them boxed in for just a second, so they don't really get the fast pace and drop they were originally expecting, but still nonetheless able to begin squeezing on towards the back of this B site.
This is great. Like, getting drop-down room control this early in a default is really nice. Gives you an extra angle of an attack.
Look at the rotations that are coming in, and we're starting to see the joint play from Orman and Co. Getting nothing done, though. It's a wild swing. Lovey with a double kill, though, is a complete change of pace.
Wow. That round went way differently than I thought. Quick work from Flash. They wound up winning that, and they're now 1 away from that point. I thought Boot was doing well. They had really good control of drop room early on. They were establishing themselves. They were getting like that launching pad to get into the site. They had good utility as well. They mollied out tree. They were doing great work to kind of, make sure that they, left no stone unturned type of thing, but they just didn't get the trades at all.
It was predictable as well, I think, to be honest. Well, we started to see the rotations come in from Flash to position themselves appropriately. We did see a wild swing from Orman overall, but then, Flash Gaming, they went from being the passive team to upping the pace, getting aggressive.
Yeah, to add to that, though, the first guy who pushed drop died, so that was boding even better for Boot Dreamscape at that point. But yeah, still, Flash doing the job they need to, and Aeon's got the first pick in this round as well. Might look for more through the smoke.
Pretty good chance for it as well. I mean, looking at the position of Tommy and Co. Just going to effectively walk forward, slashing out with a knife. I'm not quite sure what the play with that is. Should we take the bomb first? This is just looking like, I'm going to go and say it, rookie mistakes there. I don't think.
I guess he was just hoping to find out if someone was in the smoke. But didn't really wind up mattering here, as it looks like Flash is teeing off against Boot Dreamscape. And Boot's actually probably run low on cash, so they have to buy whatever they can this round. But I have to imagine it's going to be quite lacking.
Yeah, about 3,000 apiece, 2.5. Not sitting pretty at all.
No, not at all. God, it looked like there was a little bit of something coming out of Boot Dreamscape in this half, and then Flash just kind of stepped on the gas pedal again. That is your odds for the next map from Loot Bets, where Flash is again the favorite. No surprise there.
Smoke to come through. Hacker just going to sit patiently in it, waiting to hear every little sound cue given up by Boot. Eventually decides just to back on away, but I think at this point it's pretty clear what weapons they actually have. You can hear just those galils rattling away.
Yeah, I mean, Flash know that Boot aren't going to have a whole lot here.
That confirmation, though, definitely going to be feeding the confidence of this CT side.
Yep, we have Ben Kai just kind of soloing out here towards B around the drop-down room. His team was putting some pressure towards middle and A, but now they've pivoted. They're looking to join Ben Kai over on this side of the map.
mean, you've got a lot of fake potential here if you're Boot. You know that Flash Gaming, when you drop down and commit to a player or 2 players in drop, will full rotate every player to B bar 1 anchor. That, for me, is a textbook fake potential. So it's surprising that we haven't seen Boot try and kind of utilize that yet. Looks like they're still going to stand their ground and look towards B plat. They've yet to actually commit anyone towards drop, but even then we've seen how this works out for them. I mean, the mollies get thrown, the flashes soon to follow up as well. It's a bit of damage either side of things. Tommy does get the double kill to open up the site. A third actually through the smoke. Now that is a big kill.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Flash Gaming anymore in this round. They may just say these 2 M4s. For some reason, they cheated a 3rd player over towards A. I guess they thought they had a read that it was going to be an A attack, so they had 3 players on A, and then Aeon playing on tree. That's a very vulnerable spot because he's worried about drop-down room, and he also has to worry about his backside at long B, and it's too much responsibility to have for 1 player, and it came back to haunt him.
He would have been good, providing that 3rd player just didn't abandon connecting
and
go and help
absolutely.
A, and I'm not sure kind of what the late round decision was there. I was talking about the vulnerability of this kind of fake potential in Flash, but they actually kind of hurt themselves by just being a little bit antsy on what's going on. They didn't have any information, sure, but that doesn't mean you need to over-rotate either. Just stand your ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was that prompted that. But either way, it is going to cost them a round, as Boot Dreamscape are 1 step closer. Again, they need to still win another 6 rounds in a row to force this into an overtime. Again, this map was the pick of Flash. Boot Dreamscape picked Mirage, which we'll see next, which is certainly not surprising. It's their most played map online by a substantial margin. They played it like close to 30 times. Like the most played any other map is like 16 or 17, so they've played that map almost double any other map.
It's also the most played map at LAN.
Yeah, it is. Mixed results there, but again, they're very comfortable on Mirage. Flash, not too shabby on it. They play it.
Yeah, it's all kind of within their 4th, sort of 4th choice, though.
And again, if the 3rd map is required, it's cash, which is pretty common ground. Both teams play a hell of a lot of cash, so I'm sure they're both comfortable with that being the 3rd map.
I think both those, that 2nd and 3rd map, both fit the style of CS that these teams are going to have to play right now. That's awkward.
Hello?
That is very awkward.
Ouch. I think he even tried to extinguish it, but still ran into
Did it bounce?
No, I think it extinguished, but I think maybe it did take a quick bounce forward, extinguished though, and so it tapped him a little bit.
Oh, that's rough.
Or maybe he ran forward too fast before the smoke deployed. I'm not sure.
We heard the sound cue though.
Either way, he definitely just gave up his life for free, and that's going to help out Flash a little bit, who have actually pushed out into middle through A. So they'll get 3 players on B to defend against this, despite the fact that they're working with 2 CZs. They'll at least get to rotate really well.
Spotting that the push is coming in, knows that a headshot really is there. Okay, bait and switch. I can get behind that. Tommy, though, piercing open this B site time and time again. Every single play we've seen Tommy come out through B plat and get 2 kills or 3 kills.
Yeah, he's definitely been kind of the catalyst for some of Boot's success on this T side, but Almond on the flank a little bit faster than Boot were probably expecting. He's got into a 1v1 and he takes Moxie down to 21 HP. This could be it. This could be the map. Great play from Almond on that flank. That quick push through A halls into mid benefits him greatly, and Flash take it 16-9.
The great thing as well is that he gets mobile, right? He hops straight into his block, rushes down that right-hand side, but also stays quiet while he's doing it. It just meant that they had literally no idea on what he was doing. He constantly caught them on their toes in that final little clutch fiasco. And like you say, eventually totals up to a map win for Flash.
Indeed, so it is Flash able to secure the map they selected in this series. Again, this is a best of 3, so we still have at least 1 more map to go here, as this is both teams facing elimination in this tournament. That is what's on the line here in this series, but we're going to go over to Cash next, which is the pick of Boot Dreamscape of Singapore. Then again, or excuse me, Mirage, and then the 3rd map is Cash if we need it. So still could stick around. We'll just have to see what they can come up with on their pick of Mirage.
Yeah, definitely curious to see kind of where that goes. Overall, I think like we touched on towards the end of this map that, you know, those 2 maps are suited towards this kind of looser, more free-form style of Counter-Strike. And considering current forms with these teams, that's definitely kind of, that's what we saw on Cobble as well, to be honest. We didn't really, would you disagree if I said that there wasn't a huge amount of tactical depth in what we saw on Cobble today?
No, I mean, the thing is there's not much you can innovate on Cobble anymore, it feels like. We've seen a couple things over the years, like Nip having that 3 smoke from middle on B that like Threat came up with, and we've seen a couple other little things, but for the most part, this map is pretty stale.
A lot of that wasn't shown in this map, though, which is more my point. We didn't see a huge amount of kind of,
Yeah, and I think that's to be expected because both of these teams' roster situations, right? Like, Impression is still the in-game leader of Boot Dreamscape, but he doesn't have a solid 5th right now. I mean, I guess in the sense they can just rest assured that, hey, this is the 5 we've been playing with. Like, even though we know we're about to lose Moxie, at least we can still kind of use all that we have been using in the past with this team. But for Flash, I mean, it's really chaotic right now with their lineup since Karsa's departure. So I think it's a lot harder for them to be able to play, like, more advanced CS.
Yeah, it's certainly less than ideal. But nonetheless, that is map 1. Map 2, definitely what we're going to be looking towards. I mean, for me, I still think Flash Gaming, they have it. Those 16-10, 16-11 seems like a very expected scoreline, but I do think 2-0 will likely be served up. Are you kind of within the boot camp, or? I'm
not sure. I mean, I think this game started out quite close and competitive, and so in that regard, I don't think that Flash are super well out in front. I think this game, it was just like Attacker played so well. He had 35 kills on the game. At one point, he was more than double the frags of anyone else on the server. So I think that certainly was like a big thing that kind of tilted the balance in their favor.
This raises a great point, though, and I love this head-to-head here. Tommy was incredible, I think, for Boot. No matter what happens, Tommy played some great CS, because he opened up that B site every time. We kind of touched it in the final round because he did it then again, but with the Galil, most commonly, he would find 2 or 3 kills entering off of plat.
Absolutely. It's worth, like, definitely Tommy certainly put in his best efforts there as an entry fragger over on B to try to get Boot Dreams to get back into the game, but again, it's just a little bit too overwhelming that Attacker just had such a big game there. So, yeah, great job there from Flash. Again, they come into this tournament in kind of an awkward situation. They're missing Kaze. They're using both of their rotating fists, Amin and Aeon, in this tournament. Still, the future is very much, you know, kind of in a gray area for them, but good performance here to keep themselves towards staying alive in this tournament.
Yeah, that is for sure. Of course, we can't kind of leave this map without giving a wonderful, thankful message to our sponsors who make this all happen. Obviously, Hellcase, CSGO Fast, LootBet, the trio that allow us to sit here right now in these chairs and then talk about the Counter-Strike for you guys and bring you this wonderful event, of course, live from Chongqing. There we go.
Indeed.
I'm going to get that wrong, I feel like, so many times.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, map 2 coming up. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're back with you in just a few minutes' time.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.